Hello, in this video we're gonna keep doing the retopology of our character, and in this time we're gonna be making the arms, legs, and feet. The hands is gonna be in the next video, separated just like we did with the sculpture. So I don't have much to say, so let's get started. So here I have the same file, and we're gonna keep doing the same thing. I have the same references here. I recommend you to do the same, to use references. And we're gonna be creating the legs and the arms. So for now, I think I'm gonna be starting by the legs, and I'm gonna be using this as a reference. So I'm gonna select the retopology object, edit mode by pressing tab, select this loop that we made in the last video, and I'm gonna simply extrude by pressing E and down with Z. I'm gonna scale it down by pressing S, move around according to the model, not to the model sheet, but according to the original sculpture. Same thing from the side view. And as we can see, the sides of the original sculpture has a bit more of curves. So we're going to be creating a loop cut right in the middle by pressing Ctrl R and enter. I'm going to move it around, scale it a bit. And from the side view, we're going to be adjusting according to the first sculpture. So I'm going to be moving a bit to the front, scaling on the y-axis. And the same thing to this upper loop up here. I'm going to be moving it a bit to the front like this, scale it down on y just a bit. Wait, move a bit to the front like this and scale it down. And as for the arms and legs, we don't have much topology around the thighs and this little part here. So I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to select this whole loop, extrude, scale, rotate, according to the first sculpture. We are not going to be using the snapping in this video, at least not that much, because it's much more like just extruding, rotating, and scaling according to the first sculpture. And that's all we're going to be needing for now. Maybe we need to use the snapping to adjust some little details and have a nice and better looking, like here for the knees. I think we're going to be needing it, like around here, 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 but it's not going to be something too hard and excessive, you know. So I'm not going to be doing this right now. I'm going to be leaving it to later. I'm going to select the whole loop, extrude SZ0, scale it up just a bit. Gotta see from the side view too. E, extrude, scale it down, move around. Same thing from the front view. And from here, we're gonna be able to start making the feet. As we can see, it's not something too hard. So I'm just gonna press E, extrude on Z, S, same from the side view, extrude, scale it up on Y, move around, same process, extrude, scale, adjust according to the first sculpture, and it's gonna be just that. Now I'm gonna press slash on numpad, select just the feet. So I'm gonna press Ctrl plus on numpad, Ctrl plus, Ctrl plus, Ctrl plus, and then Ctrl I, H. And I'm gonna be creating a shape similar to a foot. So I'm gonna be selecting this little face here in the middle, turning on the proportional editing option, and moving on X just a bit. Same for this one here. Same for these vertices here. And now same thing for the toes. I am not going to create the toes finger by finger because my character is going to be always wearing a shoe. So it doesn't have any like special use for it. But if you are going to create the toes, you can just make sure that these edges are in the right place so that you can extrude the faces like this and then create the toes. But then you're gonna have to adjust, of course, because you have to make it more roundish and good look in general, because you know toes usually are weird. I have never created toes in 3D because I don't use it, so I'm not gonna be doing it in this tutorial. I'm just gonna be creating a shape that is looking good and similar to a foot. I think this is enough. Now we're gonna be making another thing. I'm gonna select the whole loop of the bottom part, just this one. I'm gonna press Ctrl I and hide the other ones. And now we're gonna be creating faces. So I'm gonna be selecting this little verse here, select these other fours, press F, select this edge here, and press F, 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 F until it closes everything. Now we have the bottom parts of the foot, which I'm gonna be using as a shoe in the future because we're gonna be creating clothes from here, but not now. Alt H, and now we have the full body. And as I said before, we're gonna be using the snapping tool just a bit. So I'm gonna be using it now to make a bit more of details on. So now I'm gonna be using it just a bit to create a bit more of details on the knees, like this. And now I'm gonna be selecting this edge. I'm gonna turn on this option here, snap. And then I'm just gonna be moving around until it looks good and seem. What the actual hell? Oh yeah, I don't have the first model here. I'm sorry. Now it is fixed. I'm gonna be selecting this edge, this until here, and then these two, this, and this. And then I'm gonna be pressing Ctrl B because I want to have a bit more of details around the knees, which is gonna be this edges here in the middle. I'm gonna select this front first here, and these other two, and move a bit to the front like this. Ctrl plus, same thing. Select the others one here. And I think this is all for the legs. I'm just gonna be creating one more loop here so I can have a bit more of detail like this. And this loop here, I'm gonna be creating a bevel like this so we can have a bit more of curves. And now here for the knees, I'm gonna be selecting this middle edge, Ctrl B, and I'm gonna be creating 3 more loops inside of it because this is gonna be useful in the future when we're gonna be creating the rig. And for the joints, we need more topology so we can bend better and make better shapes. I'm gonna be doing the same thing as I did for the knees around the groin because we need more topology and more curves so we can bend better and have a better result when creating rig for the anatomy. I'm gonna delete this little face here, create a loop cut here in the middle, and then I'm gonna be close this face again. And now we have a nice spot, much better. Yeah, so I'm gonna be selecting this whole loop here, Ctrl R in the middle, same thing here, and probably same thing here. I'm gonna create one bevel here too. And that is it for the legs, the feet as well. Now we can start making the shoulders and the arms. As I said, we will not be creating the hands in this video. It's gonna be a separated video, it's gonna be the next one. So I'm just gonna worry about creating the shoulders and the arms as a slash numpad, select the original sculpture and the new retopology body, slash numpad again. And here we're gonna be basically doing the same thing as we did with the legs. But I want to be doing something a bit different. You see this little bird here? I'm gonna be extruding it and creating something kind of like a roundish shape for the shoulders. Like this. I think I better use this bird here instead of the one down there. So I'm gonna be using this, extrude, and then create a face. Now we're going to be creating a loop around the shoulder and creating around this shape for the shoulders. And for that, I'm using the snap tool. As I said, we would be using it just a bit. And I'm going to be closing it to the back part of the shoulders, always making sure to align the vertices. And I'm going to be closing with this part back here. So now we have a shape for the shoulders, and from this loop, we're gonna start making the rest of the arms. So I'm just gonna be smoothing this to have a nice shape and a nice loop. And from here, we're gonna be creating the rest of the arm. So I'm gonna select the whole loop, press E to extrude and move it to this side. I'm gonna rotate a bit, SZ0, rotate like this again. I'm gonna be using this as a reference. So we have to have these loops and this shape. And it's gonna be the same thing as we did with the legs. And now it's gonna be the same thing as we did with the legs until we get to the wrist. Always make sure to align with the first sculpture. And after here, we're gonna be aligning just a few details that we have to adjust and maybe using the snap tool. So here's the wrist. This is the final point. I'm not gonna be creating the hands in this video, as I said. We're gonna select this edge here, this loop, Ctrl B. Select this one here, scale it. I'm gonna be selecting these full edges here, move it a bit to the front, using the proportional editing so we can have something a bit more roundish. And now for the elbows, it's gonna be the same process as we did with the knees. We're gonna be creating a shape similar to the original one. And then we're gonna basically create a bit more of loops and more topology that's gonna be helping in the future with the rig. So it's gonna be around here, like around here. I usually like to do this little detail here, select these edges, and then Ctrl B. So we can have this middle face, which is gonna be making it easier to move around. I'm gonna be selecting these whole faces in the middle and move to the front a bit like this. Select these edges in the middle and do the same thing. And it's basically that for the elbows. And now I think we're finished with the arms. I'm just gonna be adjusting a little detail that I saw that it's kind of wrong, which is the chest. I'm gonna be selecting this dot here up the middle like this. I'm gonna turn on the proportional editing and move it all a bit to the front until it looks similar to the original sculpture. Same thing for the other parts like this, around here. Same thing for the shoulders. And I think this is probably all for this video. That's all for this video. We have the arms and legs and feet, and in the next video we're gonna be creating the hands, which is gonna be kind of hard, but we're gonna get by. So I hope this was useful and easy to understand. I hope you got something similar to this. If you have any doubts, you can comment down here. I'm gonna try to answer you all. That's it. Like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I see you in the next video. Bye.